Kermit was an upwardly mobile light skin. So I'm giving myself this little, it's on the other fucking side, this little 10-minute walk to just kind of further flesh out my thoughts on the Muppets. You know, sometimes I click that 1 minute and I'm like, nah, this needs room to breathe. But like, specifically like the work-life balance dynamics in Baltimore and how I kind of see it reflected in the Muppets' personal and business relationships. And I'm thinking of Muppets in Space, which is my favorite Muppet movie. If you've seen it, it feels like obvious reasons, right? But it starts off with them in this big ass house where all the fucking Muppets live together, and it's something that about the Baltimore mentality where it'll be like in like a 40-person anti-cap socialist organization, non-sexual, queer, platonic, semi-sexual, polycule, and and Monster can't hold a job down due to his aggressive tendencies, so he pays for his rent split in doing lawn care and setting up the basement shows, like and it's like there's like this sense of like family and workplace structure like being one thing, about this like communal sense of like, if we're able to live together, we'll be better able to work together. But as you can see, it's like very chaotic, and so I kind of like see embodied in that kind of sense of Baltimore community and extreme chaos, but like it's a controlled chaos and it's a supportive chaos that allows people to kind of show up as their best selves. And you always, you know, they they don't hold back from each other, but it's like, oh, excuse me, but they like try to keep it as cute as possible. So you see someone like the way that like the Muppets sneak diss each other, it's for the purpose of like maintaining the sense of community that they have, right? So if Kermit thinks that Gonzo is fucking losing his mind, he'll like entertain it because he knows that to like challenge it would challenge Gonzo's ability to show up as his zany self in other aspects. Like, there's a sense of what might seem like enabling people, but there's always like an element of truth that kind of like comes through with their humor and tone. And I think that's also the energy of, you know, having a friend group that is largely creators, which has always kind of been my niche, fortunately, unfortunately. Before I started being a psychic and shit, I did a lot of spoken word poetry on the scene, and then when I did start my tarot business in person in Baltimore, I was selling crystals and doing readings at like queer markets and stuff, women focused markets and stuff. Like I did one in Lexington Market, which was really cool. But when it comes to like that dynamic of like, all right, so we all frequent the same spaces in work, right? So for me to like openly and without restraint diss motherfuckers on a regular basis on this platform, right? It's funny because like I would then see their partners and co-op members and their co-workers and stuff at the market, and where they were seeing this to me too. And even now, I have some mutuals on here that are like, I know they're mutuals with some of my like situational ship thingies, and it's like this interesting dynamic where it's like there is beef. There's big beef. Everyone knows there's beef, but there's also like 5 places that all the gay people go. So it's like you're gonna run into someone who knows someone, or something that did something, or something like that. And so I think, and they call it Smaltmore, right? So there's this energy of like understanding that there's chaos, and I feel like just a Baltimore mentality is where pretty like if you're from a more like a reserved place or a culture that prioritizes civility, Baltimore will seem mad aggressive. But it's because we just like to solve shit. It's like, we ain't about to do that fake shit. But like if you're from a society that's used to more aggression, Baltimoreans seem like they're fake or petty, because when we handle aggression, before we let it pop all the way off, we tell you about yourself. And it's more of an invitation or an acknowledgement. It's like how it's like how tree has to do what? It's like how tree has to do a land acknowledgement before we eat a sandwich at Wendy's. There's like a beef acknowledgement of like, oh yeah, how have you been? Like, so it's like the conflict is present, but it doesn't necessarily have to explode every time, because we can't afford to burn but so many bridges. I saw another creator talk about how every lesbian knows each other. It's very real. Like there's only but so many queer people in the world, and then even fewer of them are on social media. And as much as we like to think that the social media landscape is like this huge place, it's a very small environment. If you really sit down and you think about the number of people who create content on a regular basis, it's not that many people who continue to show up. And so after a while, it's like, okay, this is the community that we exist in too. So it really becomes a question of like, how much beef is appropriate in this situation, right? Like if you want to have a little cheesesteak for everything, no hots. That's real. But at a certain point, you just can't act any kind of way, because true aggression that's not grounded from a place of understanding that you have to share community together, it kind of amounts to this different kind of ostracization, where people fear that through the grapevine that you're not going to be able to hold space for them, or that you might destruct systems that they need to live, thrive, love, and feel safe. And so basically it's how the Muppets choose their battles and manage conflict with humor for me. I'm so poor at this time. Gotta add at this time, you know? Manifesting.